Hey, glad you came back. Welcome to Derb's place. I'm Derb. What are we doing today? We're gonna make spaghetti. And you go, okay, Derb, spaghetti. How hard it can be. I'm gonna do a little bit different. And you know what? Again, you do what you want to do, how you want to do it. I just kind of throw out some ideas. So what I'm going to do is I've got some homemade sausage from a previous blog that I did in the freezer. Let me sit down here. And we're going to take the peppers and onions, and I'm going to put them on the smoker and blacken them out, the outside of them up. Then I'm going to take the sausage out of the freezer, and we're going to thaw that out. We're going to put that in the spaghetti too, with roughly about a pound of hamburger. I'm going to use tomatoes that we put down and thicken it. Some rosemary out of the garden, some fresh thyme, and some mushrooms. And I'm going to do it a little differently. And again, this is just to give you an idea. Now, going backwards, the lamb, I brought it home, nice big loin of lamb, and I got so excited to use my new knives that I forgot to video it. It was like, I got this piece of meat, I want to do it. Well, I used my deboning knife. It was beautiful. Just like a pencil, just lightly took the whole vertebrae, all the ribs out of it. Then I laid it out and I put parsley, garlic, and some rosemary with a little bit of olive oil in there. And then I rolled the whole thing up and stuck it on the smoker. Well, I'm telling you, turned out great. Sorry you weren't there for it. Next time. Bad for me. Anyways, yeah, we're going to do some spaghetti today. It's a little cooler today. Starting feeling like to do things like that. So, hey, let's go do some cooking. Okay, we're outside here. And I got the smoker going, barbecue. I got my cast iron pan in there. And I'm going to throw in mushrooms in duck fat. Duck fat. If you've never had mushrooms done in duck fat, you really got to try it. I put a little bit of oil or a little bit of salt on these mushrooms. But other than that, we're just going to let those get happy. They're delicious. Best mushrooms, fried mushrooms you can have is with duck fat. Along with that, I'm going to take 2 onions. I'm going to stick them in there, like so. And what I want to do is I want to blacken that flat part of the onion. Literally cooking it. I'm going to let these go for a little while, and we'll be back. Okay, our mushrooms are nicely done now. Onions are getting black on the bottom, which that's what you want. You want to bring the charness will bring out the sweetness in the onions along with the mushrooms. They're just beautiful. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to plop in 2 cloves of garlic, minced in there, and just stir that around a little bit. Just like that. And I'm going to throw in some celery. Now, why I put the celery in now is because I don't want it to lose its crunch. You don't want everything just to be mushy when it's in the sauce. So all I'm going to do is just saute these a little bit in the pan like this. So they still got some crunch on them. And hey, you can mix those in with the onion, with the mushrooms. just like so. Okay, and once you got that going, then we're going to take this pan, bring it over here. You see I got fire, I got the vent open on this side, so I got flame there. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to take, wow, that's hot. I'm going to take these peppers, and I want to put some blackening on these things. You don't want them totally black. You just want to get a little bit of color on them. And just keep an eye on them. They won't take long. I put a little olive oil on these peppers. So we'll just keep turning these. Get back here. There. Just like so. And we'll close the lid and I'll show you our end results. Okay, as you can see, our peppers are getting black. That's what we want. I'll take some of these that are getting overly done off. This one's getting happy. This one can go in here like this. This one, as you can see, I've got a little char on them. That's what you want, just some char on them. So, yeah, here we are. So, you don't need a lot. All you're doing is bringing out the sugars in the veggies and giving it a little char. That one's really charred. That's good. You don't worry about it. You get a little bit of black, that's good. Okay, so our veggies are done now. I can take all these. I can bring this over and put it over here. And I'll just throw everything in there. And we'll take this up to the kitchen. And we'll start our spaghetti. Okay, we'll see you in a couple seconds. Okay, we have our hamburger, 1 pound. And what I did was I took some of the juice from the veggies that I did in the barbecue and threw that in the pot. So you got the mushroom juice, you got the duck fat, you got the onion juice from the onion, and I just threw it in there. That just helps the hamburger start. I'm going to put in about 2 cloves of garlic. I mean, again, you like garlic? Put the garlic in it. If you don't like it as much, don't put it in. This is just my take on this. And quite personally, half the time, I run by the seat of my pants. I know what I like. I know the taste. I know what kind of results I want. So, again, make it your own. So, I've got 2 cloves of garlic in there, large cloves. And we're just going to brown this up until it's all happy. I'll put a little salt in there. A little bit of salt. A little bit of pepper. There we go. And we'll brown this back up, and then we can start. I'll throw the canned tomatoes that we canned last year. I'll throw that in, and then we'll start building our sauce. Okay. Our hamburgers browned up now, and all I'm going to do now is I'm going to throw in the tomatoes. Now you see those leaves in there. I'll take them out. They're basil leaves, and when we did the tomatoes last fall, we put basil in there, and it just adds a little bit of flavor to it. So there's a small thing of tomato sauce, and here's the big one. Again, you can see got a few basil leaves in there. You could leave them in. It's not going to hurt, and you won't get that in the store when you buy it. And you know, speaking of that, if you take away from this anything, I mean, if you wanted to use already made sauce, like your canned sauce, you can always use those and build on it from there. I mean, there's no shame in it. I mean, I can do this because I'm retired now, so I have lots of time to spend a day doing it. Where, you know, if you guys are working, it's a little hard. Anyways, okay, I got my tomato sauce in there, and I've turned the heat down to medium. And now we're going to start cutting up these veggies that we cooked and the mushrooms and celery, and we'll put it in there. And some spices, some fresh herbs and that. And yeah, we'll carry on. Okay, so we got our peppers. And they're done beautifully. So seeds are still in. So we just grab those, take those out. I mean, if you miss a couple, it doesn't matter, right? Beautiful. Look at the skins just charred on the outside is exactly what you want. Okay, so you end up with that. And all we're going to do is we're just going to chop this up. Like so, like so, like so. And into the pot she goes. Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to show you one of the onions. Onions, nice and dark on the underside. And all I'm going to do is, I'm just going to chop it. You don't need to have it the same way. Oh, I almost found out how sharp my knives were. Just like that. And you can see the tips in that. That's the sugar that's being burnt from being charred. And we're just going to throw that in too. Just chunk it. Like, unless you got small teeth or a small mouth. Well, everybody knows I don't have a small mouth. But you can do it really, really nice. Okay, we'll do one more pepper. Just chop the stem off the pepper. Slit her down here like so. Open it up. Not a lot of seeds, as you can see. I mean, if you want to, you can take a spoon and just do this. Just to get rid of those seeds. I mean, if you're allergic to seeds. So that's what you got. And you just chop, chop, chop. Like so. Turn around. And in it goes. Just like that. You'd be amazed the flavor you're going to get with just that little bit of char in there. I mean, I'm kind of looking here. I want to have like a smoky spaghetti sauce. You stir it. They don't do it. Well, you know what? There's a lot of things they do in Italy that we don't do here. And one of them is they char a lot of their vegetables. They cook it out on an open fire and then they stick it in a pot and they get all the flavor, that's for sure. Okay, I'm going to finish with these vegetables and putting the mushrooms and celery in the pot. Then we'll do the herbs. Okay, I've decided we got all this goodness on this plate here with the mushrooms and the celery. And all we're going to do is we're going to deglaze this with a little bit of red wine. And it's just going to bring out the flavors and get all that nice burnt charred mushroom and onion and that out of it. And don't use good wine. Just use, like I just had a leftover container of a cheap red wine. Just to deglaze it. Get all the scrapings, all the goodness off of that. Just like so. And then now they can go into the sauce. Okay. Time for some herbs. So, I got some sage here that I got out of the garden. I mean, you know what? You can't really go wrong. If you like sage, put it in. If you don't like it, you know. We're going to do some sage. Not a lot. Just like that. And we're just going to just chop it up roughly. So nice working with fresh herbs. So, anyways, we're going to put some herbs in it. I got some oregano. As you can see here. And as I say, it doesn't have to be uniform. I mean, if you were working in a 5-star restaurant, then yeah, they'd be kicking your ass to make sure everything was the same size. But this ain't any 5-star restaurant. So I'm just going to throw that in like that. And I've got some oregano. Now, as you can see, it's flowered, very pretty flowers. There's no reason why you can't use the flowers. Growing and growing stuff, you know that when the plant starts to get mature, it sends all the goodness to the flower. So yeah, if you got flowered herbs, of course you take the leaves too. Use it, okay? I've got one stem here that's just leaves. So we got some oregano there. I'm going to put some chives in, as you can see, some chives. Basil, because I don't have any basil in the garden, and bay leaves. That's pretty well all the spices I'm going to put in. And I'm going to put some zest of a lime and the juice of a lime. I think I've mentioned this before in past recipes. Limes, they seem to change the acidy flavor as much as the citrus of it, and it cleans it up to the palate. So I use a lot of lime. So I'll use some zest and some lime juice in this, and throw in some tomato paste, and then we're ready just to start simmering things. Anyways, I'll be back once I get this done. Okay, so we put our spices in, and now what we're going to do, now we got to thicken this, because as you can see, it's chunky, but we're going to put some tomato paste in it, and that'll help thicken it up, along with sitting for probably 3 hours, 4 hours. I'll set it on low on the stove and just let it simmer away, and it'll get, as you can see, it's beautiful looking sauce. And it is chunky. It's really chunky. I like it this way. I have lots of time to strain things into my mouth when I'm old and have no teeth left. So as long as I got teeth, I want to chew, right? So there we go. So 2 cans of tomato paste in there, and we're just going to let that go. Now, saying that, I'll have a little taste. Gotta get a spoon. And a spoon. And we're going to taste it now. Needs more salt. And I'm going to use ordinary table salt. Like that. And I'm going to put some pepper in that. A couple bay leaves. One of the things I missed here. 1, 2. One of the fond memories I have is when my mom used to make spaghetti sauce. And I used to always love when she put bay leaf in there. So we got bay leaf in there. And we're going to throw a little bit of lime in there, as I said. So just, here, let me get the proper tool here. There we go. A little bit of lime and some zest in there. Like so. Okay. And it's important to come back and check this in, a couple hours. And might need some more salt, might need some onion powder. You know what? It's up to your own taste buds, so make it your own. One thing we haven't done yet, and is I got some homemade smoked sausage that I did last year. And we're going to cut this up, slice it up, and put that in there too. So we'll be back. Okay, so I cut up that sausage, throw that in there. It's already been smoked and cooked, so it'll just add a nice smoky flavor to it, along with everything else in there. And we'll just stir that in, like so. And that's it. We'll be back in a couple hours. Check it. We'll adjust the spice because she got so many spices in there right now that are gonna marry up, and they only get better. Okay, we'll see you in a couple hours. Okay, we're ready to eat. So, got our pasta cooked. Beautiful. Pasta. Making this up for the boss. A little more. She likes her pasta. And our sauce, which is just beautiful now. Oh! Little spillage. Nice and chunky. I like it that way. So, we throw a bun on this. Little garnish. And there you have it. Spaghetti. Now look at, as I've always said to you, and I'll say it again, is I'm not giving you a recipe for this. I showed you what I do and what I put in it. Sometimes I change it up. It's all free. It's free to do what you like and what you like to taste. But I like to give you ideas. Try a little lime zest and a little lime in your next spaghetti sauce. Or whatever. Whatever you see, try it. It just opens up a new world for you. Okay, forgot one thing. The important part. Some nice smoked Parmesan cheese. I smoked it last year, and it's beautiful. Throw that on the top. Now we're done. Anyways, until then, stay safe, be happy, and live well. Wanna eat, honey?